Okay, so what got you interested in starting the book club?
Actually, I didn't start the book club. It was a group of students back in the late 90s, and her name was Roxanne Jones, and her friends wanted to talk about books, but they didn't have the opportunity in class, and they wanted to pick their books. So they said, could we have a book club? I said, sure. So we started book club, and it was her choice and her selections. And I try to always honor that legacy that Roxanne started the book club. She's actually in Venice, California right now. And so it's been going strong pretty much ever since she started it. And it was the idea that students wanted to pick their books and have a discussion about them, and have look at the themes, look at what it means to them when they're reading a book. Sometimes we read controversial books dealing with all kinds of issues, whether it's memoirs or somebody dealing with drug abuse or somebody dealing with their sexuality, like Perks of Being a Wallflower. We've read that several different times in several different book clubs. Okay.
What is your favorite book to discuss and read?
I think one of the best discussions we had was the book called the Dog in the Middle of the Night, or it's the book about a boy who is accused of killing a dog, and he's autistic. So that book is a fiction book, but it's laced with a lot of information about what it's like to be a person with autism and how people view you and how you view the world. The Incident of the Curious Dog in the Night is what it was called. So that was a great discussion we had about how, when you look at a person, you make judgments about them. And so that was a really deep, heavy discussion. The other book that we talked about that was really, really good was Perks of Being a Wallflower. And it talks about, all the social groups that you have in school, and how hard it is for you to find your own identity, even when you're not struggling with your sexuality. Another good book that we had that was a great discussion when we brought in a different group of people. Each student in book club brought in somebody of a different generation, and we talked about Book Thief. And Book Thief is a story about a girl who steals books during the time period in Germany right before the Holocaust. And so it was a really powerful book, and we had a person whose father was in the Olympics at that time when Hitler was in power. And so she came in and talked about that time period where it was considered for people in Germany to join Hitler's youth, to kind of be a status symbol, but also to kind of keep you out of trouble with the Gestapo. So that was a great discussion that we had.
What does an average book club meeting look like? What do you guys do, and what kind of activities?
We have two different kinds of meetings. We have the book club that meets during tutorial, and so that's kind of our book club meeting to decide what are we going to read next, kind of like our housekeeping. What are we going to do? What kind of clubs, or what kind of things and activities are we going to sponsor? Like they sponsored that was then, this was now, contest with identifying the teachers when they were teenagers. So we planned that, we worked on that. That's during the day, and we decide what books that we want to read. The time period after school is when we have mainly our discussions. And you would discuss, a president of the book club or the vice president of the book club will lead the discussion. They'll have some questions to ask about the book.
All right.